Okay.
I hope we don't sound like that.
Alrighty. Aloha, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. If you don't know what's going on, there was a typhoon that hit Taiwan yesterday, and the weather is now coming into Korea. You got Kainoa McGee here and Robert Stellick watching the Busan Sup Open 2023. Please bear with us. More technical difficulties as there is only one camera filming as we speak. We had a few boats in the water that were supposed to be filming as well, but with the weather conditions, they went back to the harbor, and we're waiting for them to come back on site. As you can see, we are, I don't know, what is this, halfway through the first lap?
I think they're almost done with the first lap now. It's kind of like a chicane race. Like they got to go in and out some buoys close to the beach. So I guess at least action is going to be a little bit closer to the beach now. But they have to do 5 laps. It's kind of like a zigzag course, 2 kilometers per lap. So 10 kilometers total. And yeah, so they're getting close to, I think, finishing the first lap. But we should see them coming in for like the second run on the beach. So they have to come in, run on the beach with their boards, and then launch back into the water 3 times each round. So, yeah.
It looks like that might be our last competitor making it through his first chicane, run up the beach. So they have 3 of those total, correct?
Yes.
And then for those who don't know much about SUP or SUP design, as we can tell, the boards that the competitors are riding are significantly different than your normal SUP board that you'll see in the water surfing or even in your rivers or lakes. Can you break down some of the design aspects that, obviously they look so much different, but can you explain why?
So, they're mostly using the dugout type of stand-up paddle boards. They're like 14 foot is usually the unlimited size, or not unlimited size, I guess the stock size that they're using, 14 foot long. And then by making the rails kind of real tall and standing really low inside the deck, basically at water level or close to water level, makes it more stable. So you can use a narrower board, and then that allows you to go faster. So that's the whole idea, to make it as narrow as possible and still have enough stability to not fall in. So, and you can see them like they're basically standing inside their board.
Yeah.
But the rails are still pretty thick here. They're catching a little wave. That's actually nice. It's always good if you can get it. Yeah, if you can get a wave and stay on it, that you can get a nice lead over because whoever's behind them now is going to have to wait for the next wave or. Don't recognize who these guys are, but it looks like first and second place right now.
We got their bib numbers, but they covered it up.
Yeah,
with their camel packs, so we can't see that. Right,
and
so
looks like the whole leading field here is all on starboards with the orange nose and the blue boards. Bratsky.
All right, so currently in first place. This looks like
I don't see them. I don't see them on the list, but there's 10 pro men in this race. Only that they only let the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So looking here, like they said, first place, Rai Taguchi and Arthur Arukin in second, and Connor Baxter from Hawaii in third, who is actually currently leading the series right now by about 2,000 points, right, Robert, is what we were looking at earlier?
Right, and then Arthur Arukin, who's currently in second place, he's like in fifth, and Rai Taguchi from Japan is in sixth place. So they're all trying to get some points and catch up to Connor in the overall rankings, I'm sure. So
we got, was it 10 or 12 competitors in the water right now for the men?
I believe it's 10 men, and then the second race is going to be women, a women's race with only 5, the top 5 women.
Okay, yeah. So we got 10 men. So
12 men.
Okay, awesome. So we got 12 men in the water, and basically what you're watching right now is the final. So because the weather was so bad and the looming weather possibly getting worse, the Korean officials actually did not allow the amateur pro-am competitors in the event. So you're currently watching only the professional men in the water. And at this time, that's 12 total competitors. And for the ladies, we have 5 total female competitors. And again, they're all professionals only. From what I can remember talking to Mr. Tristan Boxford, who runs the APP, he was saying that they actually had 50 amateur competitors from Korea, actually, that were going to enter this year. So that's kind of a bummer, especially for any of you who are athletes out there and, have trained for something and something came up, whether it's an injury, whether it's weather, whatever it was, to go through all that training and for the date to finally come and then not be able to race or fight or play a game or whatever it is. We all know how much that sucks. And this is a lot of paddling. I myself have not done much racing paddling as far as SUP goes, but I always admire what these men and women do out there because it's a lot of work. As you can see, these are the best in the world. And how he held on to that.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think this is the guy, Rai Taguchi from Japan in first place right now. So
I've seen him paddle before. This
right,
awesome.
Yeah, he seems to he got a nice little wave, and it's really cool to see that actually. It seems like in Asia the stand-up paddling is just kind of growing really fast as stand-up paddle racing. So. And we've seen it kind of shrinking here in Hawaii. It's less participation in races, but in Asia, I think probably because it's becoming an Olympic sport, and then they're going to have stand-up paddle racing in the Olympics, so there's a lot more support from the government and from Olympic programs and training programs. They're trying to get young kids, training for the Olympics, basically. So there's more funding and more interest from the public, I think, in the racing. So that's cool to see, and that they have 50 amateurs signed up for the race. That's pretty cool. But yeah, you can see the conditions are definitely not easy. It's rough water, windy, overcast. It was raining right before the start. They delayed it, and then they were supposed to have 2 boats with live feeds on the water, but I guess they returned back to the harbor, so they're waiting for the boats to come back. That might be one of them. I don't know.
Then you have this boat over here making all the wake for competitors. Awesome. It's not bumpy enough. Let's put a little extra in there. And, there's a drone.
A drone, yeah. Maybe we'll get some drone footage.
That would be awesome. But, yeah, and you can see, this is some of the top competitors in the world. And right there we still have Connor Baxter making his way up to second place. But you can see the lead that Rai is actually opening up and making bigger every time they take a turn. I mean, look, he's already...
Yeah, and then Connor's just sticking in the draft behind Arthur Kent, so he's just kind of saving his energy. But this is only the second lap out of 5, so it's still anybody's chance to win this race. So a lot of it is just strategy and conserving your energy, and so maybe Connor Baxter just maybe saving his energy by just drafting, and then anything can change, especially those chicanes where you're running on the beach and if you catch a wave, you can pass everyone or you can get passed, and so a lot of things can stop. Yeah,
but we haven't actually seen it when the guys are catching waves with these boards. You guys don't. The way they're designed, which Robert was talking about earlier, they're made to go fast and they're made to go straight, but they're by no means with the decks dug out like that. They're more stable, but by no means are they stable.
Exactly, yeah.
There's world-class athletes here. This is not something you're going to pick up and you're going to jump on tomorrow and, you got it. Literally you jump on it and it's just going to flip over. And what these guys are doing, especially when they're catching the waves, these things are the last thing you want to catch a wave with. And to this point, we haven't seen anybody fall yet. And that's actually pretty amazing, even in the small surf, because you can see when Rai Taguchi came in on his last chicane from that first lap, he almost lost it. It went far left, and like you're saying, it's a 14-foot board. In order to just stop it from keep going and not flipping as it goes parallel to the whitewater, that's massive skill right there. That's
it's super hard.
You train every day on these boards to be able to make that happen. On a surfing sup, that's not a problem at all.
Right.
But
These
then
boards
you get
have
smoked.
Yeah, these boards have like almost no rocker, super fat rails. There's like no thinned out rails anywhere, and then
the worst thing.
Yeah, and
surfing.
and they're just designed to go straight and fast, but not to be surfable. So even how they do like the pivot turns around buoys and stuff like that. Looks like we finally got some drone footage too, so it's kind of nice that we able to see some of the stuff from the water.
So this is, I think, after his last chicane, right, Taguchi, coming off the beach by himself, or this could actually be live.
Not sure what this is now. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's got to be a live feed.
Yeah,
because you would have had Arthur and Connor if this was a replay. So we'll wait till Christian gives us the heads up and the okay when he starts showing some of these replays from the drone, and as the leaders start turning on that outside buoy. Yeah, Rise actually.
He's definitely building his lead. Yeah, he's getting ahead of everyone else.
See, and that's the thing too, right? This is still quote unquote a distance race, but like you said, there's so much, right, with catching waves on the inside and possibly getting some of those bumps on the outside on the way in, possibly a little downwind run.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to find that balance of being able to save enough energy to have something left at the end stretch and build a big enough lead here. So if you do need to take a little break in between and slow down just a bit to conserve some of that energy, it's a tight walk that they're definitely walking every time. And it's kind of interesting to see, how big the pack has separated, because here's half of our competitors here, right? Our first 6 competitors, and there's 12 total. And, I mean, the lead that Rai has now, that alone may just keep his adrenaline running through the rest of this race.
Yeah, but, I mean, the guys behind him are definitely they want to catch him. So, but it looks like, he just turned the outside buoys already taken off on the downwind leg. So, and especially the downwind section, they have like a 500-meter downwind section, which that's where like reading the ocean, reading the energy of the ocean really matters, and stroking at the right moment where they can use the energy of the waves kind of pushing you a little bit.
Wow, Rai is a hammer right now. Like, he's increased that lead 2 or 3-fold from that first buoy coming off the beach off the last chicane.
Yeah, he's looking really strong.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And some of the other APP posts that I've looked at, I can say I'm a fanboy.
Oh, okay.
Like Taguchi, when I heard that, I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to watch this guy race live. And, I mean, look at the lead is so big, the camera's having a hard time keeping first place.
Yeah, they can't keep them all in one picture.
In the same picture.
It's pretty amazing. And I'm not sure where Fernando Serra is, because he won the sprint race on day 1, I guess. But sprinting is a totally different animal than these longer distances, because you can't sprint for 10 kilometers. So you got to definitely conserve your energy, and that's more of an endurance race.
It looks like he's currently 4th in the world, and he's one of Spain's most promising young talents. According to Tristan, he's a well-rounded athlete across racing and surfing, and one of the fastest. So I'm not sure. Like I said, a lot of these guys are wearing Camelback, so we can't tell what their bib numbers are, even when they're close on the beach. We'll get some of them. And this is coming in on the last leg of the distance for the second. I believe this is the second.
Yeah.
The second go-around.
Second round, so...
That's the 500 meter if you look at the actual diagram. So this is technically the downwind run of this race. And actually, I'm kind of surprised and actually stoked for the competitors, because I thought it'd be a little windier. We were talking about that earlier off broadcast, that when it's windy, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you're going to be paddling on one side more than the other. And from experience as well as I do, like, that gets tiring after a while. And even though, the race is only 200 kilometers each way, that one long stretch on the way out is 850 meters, and on the way in, it's another 500. So just staying on that side, that one side for that long, is tiring.
Yeah, and especially these boards with the big fat rails and the nose just catches the wind, and yeah. But I think even with the wind not being super strong, that's a definite consideration that they have to paddle on one side probably for most of one of those legs. I would think.
Well, it looks like we got a competitor in second. I'm not sure if that's Connor Baxter, and he was able to overtake Arthur, or if it was one of our other competitors, or it's still Arthur trying to close that gap on Rye as we come inside here to the first chicane of the second lap. So we've got some ways right here. See if
you can see little swells coming in. So
if he can catch it from all the way out there, that will allow him.
That
to
could be
a
game changer. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's a couple more ways behind, but doesn't look like the second or third place competitors are going to have those lines as far out as he did. Yeah, look, he's already at the beach. Yeah. Oh. He's like, yes, thank you so much. That downwind surf makes life so much easier.
So they have to kind of zigzag through the gates there, around the flag, and then back out into the surf.
Oh, not that
bad.
Yeah, is that Connor?
I think that's Arthur working on that infinity boards with the stripe.
Yeah.
And then
Arthur made a big push there.
Yeah, so
last buoy on the outside.
Kind of lost Connor a little bit, I guess.
I don't see Connor in the picture yet. Here we go. So here comes this probably Connor right here. Oh, and the fourth place competitor is right behind Connor. It's going to be on that wave behind Connor. So they got some ground to make up, but looks like that surf on the way in served at least our first 4 or 5 competitors. This is 6 right here.
Yeah.
Really well.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting a little tight in the back of the front pack there. Oh,
yeah.
Little.
It's still anyone's game, I think.
Oh, look, a competitor here tried to jump up, but got stuck on the way up, and his competitor went right past him.
Yeah.
Jumped in and went straight to his feet instead of walking it out into the waves. Gave him a big advantage there. So two of the guys actually are overtaking the one competitor, but we'll see when the angle comes in that they're trying to go toward that buoy.
Yeah, and usually you have the most changes in position, like close to the beach, with the waves going in and out of the waves, running around on the beach, and that's also very tiring. I remember doing the Battle of the Paddle, where you running on the beach, and it's so different from paddling. It's like then your legs are all rubber, and you're trying to jump back on their board, and it's it's definitely challenging to do those chicanes.
It's already rubber from the paddling and standing while you're doing it. Right?
Balancing.
And then you have your quote-unquote sea legs that you get when you're in the water for a period of time, whether you're on a boat or and
then when you jump on the sand, it's like your legs are not working.
Yeah, you got to recover from it.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
What's this? What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
See if he catches this wave. At least a little bump. Nope. Oh, no, he can't because he doesn't want to go straight. He wants to go over to angle to the next chicane.
Yeah, so that's that white buoy back in. 2 more runs on the beach before they get into the third round. So, when's the last time you stand-up paddle raced?
No, jeez. Just the last time I stand-up paddle, period.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Stupid foiling. Messed that all up. Whether it's foiling. Okay.
So we just heard Daniel Hasulia is now in 3rd place. Connor's in 4th place. So,
and we still have Arthur.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we got the.
Right here, we got some wave. Let's see if these
There's a little bit of push from the wave. Yeah. Looks like.
Where's he going? Oh, he's coming. I think, are they lapping it?
I think he's just kind of trying to use the energy of the waves, kind of.
Here we go. Just Rye again.
Yeah. So he's
Catch this little one. Yeah, he's
pushing hard to get on the bump.
He'll get it.
Really working it.
He'll get it.
Yeah, he's on it.
Perfect too, right on the shoulder. So it's a little softer, but just enough power to push him and not have to fight with the wave too much. As you can see, that's the other thing too. Whether you're riding one of these sup boards or even just a surf sup board, I notice when you get into shallower water, the board is a little more tipsy and more inclined to actually take a strong left or right turn.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was first learning, coming into Baby Queens, I ate it a few times, of course, with everyone watching. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And on these race boards, the front to back balance is really tricky too. Like you have to be forward to catch the wave and stay on the wave, but then if the nose starts to, if you're too far back, you get slowed down. If you're too far forward, it can pearl.
Yeah.
So, they have so little rocker and so little margin of error that it's really hard to ride waves on these sports for sure.
So this looks like our second place competitor,
Arthur Rutkin from France. He's the 2018 world champion and currently number 5 in the world rankings.
And we got right behind him.
Oh, he's waiting for the second. Who's that? Connor? I think Connor just passed.
Right past him.
Yeah, he just passed Daniel Hasuli. He kind of waited for a wave or something, and then
Connor just it right in there.
He just went for it. So
good call on the position changes happening so close to the beach.
Yeah,
with the waves, how they make such a difference, and how the competitors attack the paddle back out. Right where you can see Daniel was kind of waiting, and Connor just went in and ran right through it, jumped up, had a good timing right on the back of the wave, and then it kind of sent him out where Daniel kind of hesitated and waited a little too long.
Yeah, but
Connor passed him, but
it looks like they're neck and neck again. I mean, Daniel Hasuli, I've paddled with him in Holland on the 11 Cities Tour, and he's like a very strong paddler. Amazing paddler.
Right up to Connor.
Yeah,
it was nothing.
He's
looks like he's actually making some distance there too on Rye. It seems to me so far in this race that the longer distances are Rye's major advantage.
That's where he's making headway.
Even though he's still out in front and he's doing a good job, I don't see him making any major mistakes or anything that he could be doing different through the chicane. You can see where the strengths of our athletes are.
Right.
And, so, for example, like Daniel there got stuck on the beach, but as soon as he got up sprinting, he was gone.
Strong paddler.
And then Rye
let's see who makes it
front.
First around this buoy. It looks like Daniel, and then Connor's right next to him, behind him. And doing these kind of turns is tricky enough and flat water if you're practicing by yourself, but then once you add all these bumps,
that's
and then
pretty much as hard as it gets.
All the people around you,
the wind, the boards, your other competitors, the buoys. You got a cameraman. Look like you got a cameraman
banging rails with other guys at the same time. So it's definitely challenging what they're doing there. And then going back in for I think this is going to be the third chicane, and then they're going to start their third round. Here's catching a little wave again.
Oh, perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Well, and he's able to cut across the wave, so it's going to, rather than riding it
back
straight and then have to run down to the barrier that he has to run around.
Yeah.
The wave stayed nice and flat for him long enough that he got to cut all the way to the left and have less distance to run on the beach. Like you were saying, when you do get on the beach from being on the board, your legs are already rubber.
Yeah.
So the shortest distance you can cover from point A to B to get back in the water is obviously what you want. And obviously Rye is literally kicking butt doing that right now. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, another thing is when they come in, if they jump off too early when they're still kind of in deeper water, then they have to kind of push through the water instead of, ideally you want to pretty much ride it up almost to dry sand, but obviously you also don't want to bust your fin or your board. So it's it's definitely a technical thing, and sometimes that's where things can definitely change. But it looks like Arthur has got a pretty good lead in second place, and then let's see, we got
both coming through.
Yeah, they're both coming on the same wave. and they both jump off. Looks like
No, that's Daniel and
Daniel and
whatchamacallit.
Connor. Yeah. Oh, is it? Who else?
No, I don't think so. That's not Connor. Neither of those are Connor.
Oh,
There's
Connor.
Connor.
Yeah, you can see his style. Yeah.
So we got
So he's
third,
in
fourth, and fifth place right there battling. Connor's
Third,
going to be
and
currently
he's
in
sixth
sixth
place,
coming
yeah.
off the beach. And again, like you said, it's a long race, right? Obviously, it's not a distance downwind race, but it's a long race where now we get into the distance part, right? So this is the 850-kilometer leg of this race all the way out to the buoy on the outside and then head back in. As they head back in on the 500-meter coming in, we'll see, right? Oh, wow,
nice drone boat footage.
There we go. Is that our guy, Tristan? We got Tristan over there?
Yeah. Tristan, are you on the boat?
Here we
Maybe
go.
you can get him to talk.
Wow. That lead that was shrinking at the beginning of the chicane at the end of that second round or second loop has actually even widened more for Ryan. And actually, luckily for Arthur, he's actually picked up more space in between the third through sixth place guy as well.
Yeah, they're both kind of building their first and second lead.
Yes.
But like I said, they're starting in the third lap, so they're not even halfway through this race yet. So definitely it's going to come down to who can keep up that pace, for the whole race or pick up the pace.
If I was a racer, I'd definitely be a sprinter. This long race stuff, they could keep that. That's too much work. What? I'm tired just watching.
Yeah, I've always been better in the endurance part,
Yes.
but yeah,
wow,
it's
really?
like for
I'm the opposite.
I prefer. Well, here's somebody going down. See, so yeah, when you get tired, then it's harder to balance too. So I'm not sure who that was. Could have been Brian Hasul or Daniel Hasulio, maybe. I'm not sure.
So that was Connor Baxter with the little fall there. Fortunately for him, like we were saying, there's still at least a little more than half of the race left. And he didn't lose too much ground on the competitor, the second competitor behind him, the competitor that was right next to him, past him. But he's trying to keep up pace to stay with that front pack. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and he's kind of right in the middle now of the pack. It looks like. So there's more.
Well, how's that paddle? See the paddle? Got any?
Oh, he's got that
that
quick blade. It's kind of like an oval shaped, almost like real wide
like
and
a
stocky.
Half blade wider.
Those have
Kinda
been
like
those have been popular for like the downwind foiling because they generate a lot of power without putting it deep into the water, I guess.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried that paddle. No, I've seen it, but I haven't tried it. I've heard from people that it's a little bit. You have to change your stroke because it's so wide that it's easy to bang. It's easy to bang your rails with it because you can't bring it. Stroke. You can't bring it as close to the rails.
Right, where standard or classic stand-up paddle, you're regularly scraping your blade, right, the edge across the board or near the board.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, proper technique is to kind of start it a little bit further away from the rail and then end it right next to the rail. But
because they're so much wider, you're starting further away.
Yeah, it's a different. You have to adjust your technique a little bit for that.
So you're kind of probably twisting your body sideways like this more than you would be straightforward with a classic or standard paddle.
Yeah, I guess, but then you don't have to put it into the water as deep to get a good catch. So yeah, I'm sure it has advantages and disadvantages. So like everything in sports.
Yeah,
it's never a free ride.
The competitor feels like is the best advantage.
It's kind of cool to have that bridge in the background. So I guess the Gangwon or Guan something bridge, Gangwon Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, but this is pretty close to Busan Airport. So if anyone ever flew into Seoul, you fly into Busan Airport, which is close to this beach. And definitely.
So I believe this is one of our competitors in the second pack coming in.
Oh, so
that's
they're
probably Rye
going out. Yeah.
right
So
there.
yeah, Rye's already passed the
That-
buoy on the third lap now,
Yeah.
the outside buoy. So
So
coming
halfway.
in, yeah,
Officially halfway through
he's
the race.
halfway finished, pretty much. Yeah,
Wow, he still got that lead.
yeah. It looks like
It's impressive.
actually, but it doesn't seem like it grew from the last lap. Like he didn't grow up more the lead at least.
No,
So,
it's still the same.
yeah, it's
at
about the
least.
same,
Yeah,
but
so
So it looks
we'll
like
see what
yeah.
gives here.
Yeah, we'll see
Either
if he
he
can
or
keep up
they.
that pace, or if he's going to start slowing down. Or yeah, but if he can keep up the pace, it looks like he's got a solid lead. So
But
unless
if
he
can
does
keep
some,
catching these little bumps,
Yeah.
that'll definitely help him out.
yeah, and then just getting waves from pretty far out. It seems like he's doing a good
Yeah.
job with that.
I think that's been his biggest advantage on the
Yeah.
inside.
But sometimes when you have to work hard to catch a wave, that can also take a lot of energy and really raise your heart rate, and then you got to run through the chicanes on the beach, and then at some point you want to kind of get your heart rate back down to a more reasonable rate, so you can, where you can maintain it.
Right.
Like if it goes so high that it's just like you
You
said,
got nothing
you can do that for sprinting, but not necessarily for long distance. You can't keep going at
Right. So this
super high
is
heart rates.
Arthur Arutkin right here, currently in
Right.
second. And we had earlier on the screen, that was Rai Taguchi. So, yeah, currently in first place. Arthur, here we go. This is Rai, currently in first place. And, the guys from lap number 2 here, bib number 7, still making his way out to start his third lap.
Mm-hmm.
Look at trying to take any piece of little break that you can, right? It was a little bump, but it's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break right here and stop paddling for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a little push in the free ride, then that's always.
Looks like that's Connor.
Yeah.
Connor made that pass right back.
Okay, so he's back in what is that? Third place
Third
or
or fourth place.
Fourth place, maybe. Yeah.
Connor in 5th. So
Okay.
Connor's currently in 5th.
Okay.
After that fall, he was in 6th. So and then Fernando Serra boosted into 3rd right there.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, especially when the wind's coming from behind you, it's a lot about just milking every little bit of bump and energy, and then kind of saving the energy a little bit when it's not pushing you, so you can get more speed on the bump. So it's a lot about timing the strokes. It looks like they're just paddling hard nonstop, but they're actually taking time strokes, and it's a lot of strategy and
sometimes
skill.
It's better to actually wait for the little bump
Yeah.
than to try and work so hard for the one in front of it. If you're already on the back side of it, you're not going to be able to catch it. So
Yeah.
you don't want to stop paddling, but you can take a little break, because in this type of, I guess, for lack of a better explanation, a downwind situation, not technically downwinding, but a downwind situation,
Right.
when they're coming back toward the beach on the 500-meter leg of this race, the bumps are spread out, and because of the wind, the little one actually comes behind it really quick if you kind of miss the one in front. So you'll see, like I seen earlier, some of our competitors kind of just let the one in front go by, then like right now trying to pick it up.
Now he's coming into the surf zone, and it looks definitely they're kind of like doubling up too. It's like smaller waves that are doubling up into a bigger wave.
Yep.
So it's kind of, but yeah, it looks like he's got another one. Oh no, is he? Yeah.
Oh.
See, that one kind of doubled up, and
Yeah.
he lost one in the front, but he.
Also, we can see that the winds have died down a lot. So there's still some residual chop on the wave. And as hard as the wind is on the paddle out, I think it's more helpful on the way in. So if this actually goes to the point where it's dead wind and it goes glassy, that means it's just going to be just as hard every leg of the race.
Right.
Because you got no wind aid which isn't pushing any bumps up in the ocean, and it's basically now you're flat water
Yeah.
paddling.
But still, going into the wind is going to be easier. So it should be like if it turns glassy, it's overall is going to be
Might
faster
balance out.
laps. But it's hard for me to see like who's who. But we got like looks like second and third.
That was a good jump, literally right on the dry sand. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can go all the way to where you can jump right onto the sand and grab your board and run like that, that was a smooth entry. Yeah.
Well, you can see how big the fins are. So
Yeah.
these guys have to know in their mind, right, and have a feel of the board, the ocean, and the sand all at the same time to make sure when they get to the dry area there that, like you said, they don't jump off too late where the fin gets caught in the sand and possibly breaks.
Yeah.
Or jumping off too early. So you can see, hopefully we can point it out on the next chicane, is you could see when he jumped off, you could see the depth behind him, seeing the water drop off where, like you said, where he jumped off was perfect. Like any later, probably catch the fin in the sand.
Yeah.
Any sooner, he's jumping into waist-deep water.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, the beach is kind of sloping, and then all of a sudden it'll drop, and it'll be like a steeper drop. So if you jump off before it gets shallow, then you're they can take much longer. Yeah, and then the same thing going back out again, too. Like if you jump on the board too early, and the fin hits the sand as you're jumping onto the board, then you get stuck and can fall forward. So it's that's also really important for the timing.
Thanks, guys. So I'm down here at the first turn buoy on the inside, or the turn buoy on the inside here. We've got Rai Toguchi with a really convincing lead. He's broken away a little bit. Artur is catching, though. Artur Rudkin from France having a strong race so far. Fernando Serra, yesterday's champion, managed to get ahead of Daniel Hasulio and Connor Baxter, and he's now sitting in third with Daniel behind him. And, Connor's overtaken Daniel. So it's a lot of mixing around. I think all the different turns and aspects of this course allows for a lot of changes rather than just having a set kind of run of people through the whole course. But, yeah, it's a great day of action. Finally, it stopped raining. It's great to bring the action from the water. It's going to continue to be a good race. I think we're coming into our third lap here and a lot more to come. Back up to you guys.
All right, and we're back. Thanks, Tristan, for that update. It's always great having that live update from the water. Like Tristan said, these guys have been the top. Well, so far, Rai in the front and Artur in second. And back there between third and sixth place, there's been a lot of juggling depending on the turn, depending on the beach. And Artur is actually closing the gap on Rai. According to Tristan. So we'll see how this second chicane of this
third lap
third lap to come up.
Is it the second? I think. Oh, I'm not sure. Sorry. Yeah, I think
this is actually.
It's lap number 3, but it's a third chicane.
4 coming up. Yeah. It's hard.
You got a little break there, which is always nice when you can stop paddling.
Like where he is, where he actually jumped off, it was waist deep.
Yeah.
Then he jumped off but started riding still a little bit so he would get up without the fin catching and himself catching.
That was a very quick transition. Yeah.
And so he did a good job of catching that wave right to the barricade.
Yeah.
And same here with Artur. Look how close he is now.
Yeah, he's letting the board wash up a little bit so he doesn't have to carry it as far. Yeah, makes sense.
The energy. It's smart.
And jumping back
on. As long as it doesn't break the fin, it's a great strategy. It's a great strategy until you break the fin.
So he's stepping way back to go over the white water and then back forward again to level out the board and go trim it out for speed.
So a lot of people watching right now who may be new to the sport, are wondering, what's the big deal with the fin, if it breaks or, So what happens is, different from like kayaking and stuff like that. That's why kayak, you have the paddles on both sides. That helps to balance you out and allow you to keep the boat straight or go left or right accordingly. The SUP boards, these stand-up paddle boards, have the fin on it because if you don't, there's no way to control it, right? You're just basically going in loops, and the board's always going to want to flip. So it gives stability in a few ways. It stops the board from wanting to roll and flip over each time, whether it's side to side, and also allows you to keep going straight. And so for anybody who has done stand-up paddling before, you know that whatever side you're paddling on, the board will go in the opposite direction. So if you watch these guys, the work that they're putting in to keep the boards going straight is pretty amazing, right? Considering the boards that they're on and, the conditions that they're dealing with.
Yeah. So, but I mean, compared to all-around stand-up paddleboard that has like more curvy outline, so these boards are made to go straight. They track a lot better, so you can get more strokes per side. And then these guys have really good technique too, where they can probably take like 10 or 15 strokes per side before they have to switch. Although, like you said too, if you have a side wind, you might have to paddle a whole lap without switching sides too. So sometimes that can be really taxing on your muscles too, you're paddling on the same side nonstop. But, also to keep in mind is like when you're stand-up paddling, the center of gravity is much higher than when you're sitting down in a kayak, for example, or even a canoe, or, where they kneel in the canoe. So you're able to, use a narrower, more rounded bottom usually in a kayak or a canoe. So because we're standing up on the boards, we need a little bit more stability, because we got the really high center of gravity.
Yep.
But
because
that's what
that center of gravity is higher, you're more likely to be tippy and more likely to have less balance.
Yeah,
and
tip over.
Again, like you said, with the board design, the boards do actually have less balance because they're faster if they do, right? Because you could make it wider, and it would be more stable, but it wouldn't be as fast because it's too much wide. There's too much volume, too much surface area.
Yeah, I mean, the board widths that they're riding now is like around between, I think, 22 to 20 inches, even super narrow boards, which like 10 years ago, nobody thought that would be possible. But with you can see him speeding up, going for the bump. It's amazing.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing. He just timed it perfectly.
Yeah, but now he's taking a little break, gliding with the speed, and then waiting for the next opportunity to push hard and there we go. He's got another one pushing.
Wow, the guy behind him is like, really? I was right there too.
Yeah. So
big difference. Those little things make a big difference. Yeah. Here too, you don't see our guys. Oh, is that Ryan in second place now? Look.
Oh yeah.
Looks like it.
Looks like Arthur just passed.
Yeah,
him. Looks like he passed Rye. And then who's that coming in? Is that I think Daniel Hasulia maybe? Yeah. So it looks like he's going strong. Yeah, catches a bump. It's at least one or two ways ahead.
Left.
Trying to ride it all the way to the gate so he doesn't have to carry as far. Fernando. Okay, we got number 6, Fernando. He's the one who won the sprint race in the first day. Going around the flag, back out again. So yeah, still a lot can change. Still, we're still only in the end of the third lap, so we got 2 more laps to go. Still a long way to go. So
Connor Baxter right there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And Connor Baxter is definitely like an Energizer bunny. He just keeps going. So, and it could, I think right now he's like in 5th place or something like that. Still could take the whole race possibly. Who knows?
I noticed this competitor right there is the strokes are now they're longer. Longer, slower, more
conserving energy. Yeah.
Right, and so it's the first lap or two of those guys. It's a lot shorter, quicker, faster, sprinty type strokes. Where now the fatigue is starting to set in.
Yeah.
Even though they're consistently moving, the longer strokes still provide for a little more rest between each stroke, even though it doesn't look like it. But see how it's a more deliberate stroke, more all the way through, and he's not like going as quick and his body's not pumping so much more. His heart rate is starting to level out a little better.
Right. And you can see this technique that he's using is almost he's using gravity for to propel himself forward, to kind of falling onto the paddle, pushing down on the paddle, using his body to lean down into the stroke, and so he's coming around that first buoy and back out to the 850 meters. I hope it's not kilometers, but he kept saying kilometers.
Oh yeah,
850 meters.
The
So luckily they don't have to go that far, but
I'm Hawaiian, but I don't know all that metric stuff.
Metric stuff. But yeah,
it is meters. It is meters. Because if it was kilometers,
and the total distance, I guess 10 kilometers is about 6.2 miles. So the total distance they're doing is about a little over 6 miles. So it's a little bit over a mile for each lap. So
and also these guys make it look so easy. So if you're out there and you're a little beginner to novice, watch how they're actually paddling. If you find yourself paddling and you're using only your arms, you're doing it 1,000% incorrectly. If you watching like how Robert was saying, is they use the gravity, so you use the weight of your body over the top of your paddle as the stroke starts coming down. So you would use your whole body, and you'd even do an oblique twist at the end to get a little snap in the paddle on the way through.
Yeah.
And if you're only using your arm, then you're always wondering why your elbows are sore, or if your shoulders are always sore. It's because you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to use your arms or your shoulders. You're actually supposed to use your arms and shoulders to stabilize the paddle and basically just to move it forward and backward. And your body is the pressure and the gravity that Rob was talking about, that pushing down on that paddle. And all you're doing is bringing it up out of the water and moving it forward with your shoulders and your arms. And the rest of it is literally your whole body. Like when I go to stroke forward, I want the top of the paddle to be even with my chest. And so I make my paddles, I use actually shorter paddles for a guy my size, and I'm about 6'2". So my paddles are actually my height. My surfing paddles are my height.
Yeah, for surfing, that's a good height, yeah.
And even for my distance paddles, they're only like 6'4". So there's only a few inches taller than me because I like the paddle to be lower so that I can utilize my body more as I paddle. And using that power, or like in Hawaii and in Hawaiian we call it mana, and using the mana from my whole body into each stroke, so the fatigue doesn't set in as quickly, and when it does, my whole body is absorbing it rather than just my arms and or my shoulders.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then also these boards with the dugout, because they're basically standing at water level, or even sometimes below water level. So the paddle can be shorter, like, because if you have a thick board and you're standing like several inches above water level, then you need a longer paddle. So yeah, and the lower you get your hand, the closer to the blade, the less leverage you have. I mean, the more leverage you have on the paddle, basically, the more power you can put on the paddle if you're closer to the water. So
I noticed like a lot of, like, even Connor Baxter does this. A lot of them, like, they'll have their back bent really low, and it's not technically wrong. It's just you have to find what works best for you. Like,
that can be really tiring for your lower back.
Exactly. And for me, I have a bad lower back, so that never works.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, the paddle we were just watching, he's kind of always has that forward bend, versus some others bring their hips kind of forward and stand up more straight, which is kind of what I try to do, because then that gives you a little break, gives your back a little break too in between each stroke. Yeah, I
learned that when I first started sup paddling, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. This hurts too much. But, for certain people, like Connor Baxter being one of them, like I've always watched him and just was always amazed that he could be that parallel to the water
and stay in that position. Yeah. I mean, it's also kind of a young man's game, I guess, to paddle with that technique. Definitely. But like this paddle, for example, I'm not sure who that is, but he's bringing his hips a little bit more forward, a little kind of straightening out in the recovery, which and then also the timing of that, the bringing the hips forward. If you do it at the kind of early before you release the paddle, then you kind of transfer that momentum forward, versus if you're doing it kind of opposite, like while you're recovering, then sometimes you can slow yourself down in the recovery if you're bringing your hips forward at the right moment, at the wrong moment. So a lot of it is technique. I think like it's easy to go faster by improving your technique, to going faster by improving your fitness, it takes a lot of work, but like small changes to your technique, especially when you're starting out or you're getting into racing, like the technique I would say makes a much bigger difference in how fast you can go and how long you can last and so on. So
I'm glad you spoke about technique, because like in anything else, right? Any sport, basketball, football, baseball, it's the proper technique that not only one gets the best results, but the best thing about it is it gives you more longevity in the sport that you're playing, right? By using the techniques. And so, like you said, getting your fitness game up isn't always enough. And when you're getting your fitness game up, are you doing that right as well? Because if not, that's taking a toll on your body, which is the opposite of what you're trying to do when you're trying to train and bring your fitness up, bring your strength, bring your cardio, bring your anaerobic, and bring that all up. You as long as you're doing more, you're going to improve. But in order to have the maximum result and response of what you're trying to do, it all comes down to technique.
So it looks like it's Arthur and Rai
Taguchi.
Yeah, Rai Taguchi neck and neck for coming in after their third lap. So this is gonna go. Or is this at the outside buoy? Oh no,
it's the outside buoy coming in already. It's the third, finishing up the third lap.
And they're both pushing hard and still got a ways to go. So it'll be interesting to see that.
Yeah, I mean we're a little past halfway. And these guys are like neck and neck. And like I said, Rai got such a big lead on everybody. I'm interested to see how he's going to finish.
Yeah.
And for Arthur to come back the way he has, will he have enough to keep Rai off at the end here?
Yeah.
And of course, like you said, a lot happens on the beach, right? The takeover of the lead started on the beach.
Yeah.
Arthur beat him to the beach. Beat Rai to the beach and ended up first in the water and has held that lead throughout that third lap there. And so it's going to be interesting to see that to the end.
And right now, I think, it's Rai's drafting. So sometimes when in the right conditions, like when you're drafting in the wake of someone else, you can save quite a bit of energy. So he might be just like saving his energy.
Really smart for him to do because of all the energy he put to be the rabbit.
Yeah,
the first 2.5
legs. So the pacing is super important, right? And then for Arthur to catch up, that took a lot of energy too. So now he's maybe exhausted from that. But look, he got a little bump right there.
And that's on these kind of boards. That's what you want.
Right.
You want just a bump. You don't want it to break. You just want, like foiling. You just want a little bump. You don't necessarily want it to break. You just want it to have enough push to do exactly what it did.
Yeah, you want the bunny slope, not the triple black diamond run.
Black diamond is out foiling.
And there he got. He came a little down a little. Yeah, so you could see how much more time it took him to get to the flag because he got off a little bit too early in the deeper water. So now going back out, he's got a pretty good lead there. Caught the bump, made a quick transition, but
And then that's the other thing too. Like if you can catch, you won't be able to see it from the camera, or even when you're coming in. But when you're going back out, sometimes with this receding water, you get that little bump that gives you the push right off the shore.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen, but if you can time it right, kind of catapults you fast forward.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yes, that works, and it's basically like paddling downwind. Or down river. Yeah,
if you can kind of get on the back of a wave that goes back out, then it's like it's almost like surfing into the waves. Yeah, for sure.
And this is the thing too, not giving it enough credit. Like when they go to San Francisco and the waves are big, paddling these things through that white water on the way back out is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Just on a regular surfing site, it's hard enough, but these boards, I watch them and I just cringe. I'm just like, because these boards, you have no control on waves that size when it hits the front of the board.
Yeah, and if you don't hit it exactly straight, it'll just spin you sideways and forget it.
You just see like guys going flying one way, the board going the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least this is kind of a manageable surf shore break, not too big.
That's an interesting strategy.
Yeah, he's like walking
so far down the beach instead of just going right back in.
Yeah.
Maybe his shoulder's just a little tired. He's
Oh,
like,
it looks like. Oh, is that 1 and 2? That looks like Arthur's got a lead still. So interesting.
Yeah, no, like you said, see.
Yeah.
Rise in drafting him back there. So
Yeah, he's saving his energy. So
actually
that's dangerous.
maybe-
Like when you have someone drafting behind you, biding their time, but it's it's still a risky strategy too, because where Arthur got the wave in front and Rai missed it. So but he is definitely conserving his energy right now. Sometimes like in the right conditions, drafting can save you like probably about 20%. You can paddle at 80% versus the guy in front has to paddle at 100%. So that can add up over a couple of laps.
Right, and as you can see where Rai is, he's not paddling as hard as Arthur because he's using that drafting.
Less strokes,
right?
less power.
If you have any questions about drafting, watch Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, and they talk about what drafting is in car racing. Right?
Yeah.
Any kind of racing where you're competing with competitors like this, there's always drafting, whether it's NASCAR, F1, paddling, whether it's canoe paddling, whether it's sup paddling, or even running and bicycle races, right?
Yeah.
If you stay close
The
enough
peloton.
behind, what happens is the competitor in front catches all the wind, and as all that wind, or in this case water, what happens is the water gets softest behind the competitor in front, and the competitor is taking all that brunt, whether it's the wind, whether it's the water, and it's breaking up the water, making the water softer behind. So like you said, you can paddle at 80% instead of 100% and still keep up the same pace because the competitor in front of you is helping you. So like if you watch like Tour de France and stuff like that, the teams, they'll always draft and they'll have their big guy.
Oh, here they come in. Yeah, I mean, totally. Like in car racing, what's interesting too, I read about it that here Arthur got the wave, and he's like, that's big advantage. Looks like he got a nice lead now. Yeah,
this time too,
and surfs it really well. But the waves are pretty close together, so it's not like
not
sometimes if the waves are really far apart, then catching a wave
here
can
in Hawaii,
make a huge difference.
makes a big difference.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say about drafting, like in car racing, I've read that like a car going right behind the car in front actually makes both cars faster because it's basically now you have a long, and to a certain degree on the stand-up boards too, because you have a longer water line. If you combine two boards, it's like you're having now instead of a 14-foot board, you have like a 28-foot long board.
Right.
So the water kind of goes around both boards instead of coming back together in the middle.
Right.
So in a way, it kind of makes both paddlers a little bit faster sometimes when you're drafting right, It's kind of interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed on the way in, Rai was actually drafting to the side.
Yeah.
And using the side like the weight.
It's not right behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's actually helping himself more and not helping Arthur by doing so, where you're talking about the 20 feet of board compared to the 14. And so I noticed that on the way in that he was real conscious to stay on the side rather than directly behind. So helping himself without helping the competitor in front at all. Hey, it's competition. I'm all for it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You're only teammates when you're on the beach because this is not a team sport. Compared like Tour de France and stuff like that, they actually have guys who are meant to go slower.
The team, Oh, he fell in kind of early. Yeah,
all
you
right,
can
so
see
it looks like we're gonna head to Tristan Boxford for a live report out there in the water on the boat. What we got going on out there, Tristan?
Well, we've got an exciting race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. We have Artur Arutkin, who's broken away a little bit from Rai. He's managed to create a little bit of a distance. I'm not sure exactly what happened on the inside. You guys will have seen it better than me. But exciting to see Artur in the front. He seems to have found another gear, but Rai's still very much in the chase. Behind them, the champ from yesterday, Fernando Serra, boosted ahead of Daniel Josulio and Connor Baxter. So he's created quite a big distance from the other two there, breaking away and in a comfortable third place. But it's all to play for. We got one more lap coming up, so a lot of the guys will be conserving energy. Interesting to see what happens. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tristan, for that live report. What's going on out there from the outside?
I think he's still talking to him.
Here we go. We got our riders coming to the inside here.
It's looking strong still.
Is that Arthur?
Yeah, I think this.
Wow.
Arthur in first place now, got a pretty good lead, still catching waves, really
But he's
surfing,
still
walking
on
back
the
and
cane
forth.
From his fourth lap?
I think they're on the fourth lap, yeah. So they got one more lap to go. Run all the way up to the beach. Fumbles a little bit on the straps. Oh, and
wow, look at
Uriah is right behind him, yeah.
Not
There's no lead there. Jumping in the water almost
Look
the same
at-
time.
oh,
He stumbles. He's getting tired. I guess, yeah, that'll wear you out trying to stay ahead.
drafting.
Yeah. So so maybe Roy's drafting now. He's a little bit more fresh, got a little bit of energy. He's making his move now.
So this is the fourth lap?
This is
Start
the
of the
fourth
fourth lap.
lap. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know where these guys, I don't know. I guess in my 20s or 30s I would have
Yeah.
had that energy if I trained like these guys did.
But both of them look like like Arthur's definitely looking a little bit exhausted now. You can see.
You could tell he was
He's
pulling
great.
the weight, but
Yeah.
he's right behind him.
Yeah.
If you can tell too, if you watch these two guys paddle, at the end of the paddle, there's a little snap out, right? And when I teach SUP lessons and stuff like that, I always tell people that little snap at the end makes all the difference in the world because that's the propulsion forward at the end of the stroke that gets you into the next stroke easily. And like you said, we've been talking about technique and gravity. That also helps a lot too because it pushes yourself forward as well. And as your hips come up, that paddle naturally comes down with that momentum from that push off the water, helping you to move forward. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, that little flick of the blade is called feathering, basically,
Yes.
and that allows you also to kind of, like you said, it kind of propels your paddle back forward in the forward momentum, and then also allows you to kind of start bringing the paddle forward, even if it's not all the way out of the water yet. And it also gives you kind of a little bit of stability, like helps with stability too, because you can kind of use it a little bit as a brace.
It's like pushing off a wall.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you're doing the feathering right, it feels like when you're twisting the paddle, it kind of wants to go
Yes.
back forward again. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So that's a big thing for a lot of the beginner and novice paddlers. If you want to practice technique, that's definitely a technique you want to use. Because a lot of times, if you watch our paddlers, what's going on? He's like waiting for him.
Yeah, Arthur is
Oh, he doesn't
drafting
want-
now. Now
oh,
he's
he doesn't
drafting.
want him to
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, they're both slowing down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to draft off him.
Yeah.
Wow, I like it.
Yeah. So
they're gonna
that's
lap-
really
lap
technical.
place
Yeah.
lap.
Looks like they're lapping the
Wow.
last place paddler soon. And now he's making maybe a little push
Like
to
moving,
lose him
trying
from
to
the
move
drive.
away.
Yeah, moving around.
I love
You
the chess game.
you definitely don't want the guy behind you to get too much of a break while you're.
Especially at this point.
So
They're
you
out
can
there
see him
last
really
two
slowing
laps.
down and then speeding up again, letting him
Wow, I
bump
love
into
it.
his tail.
Yes. Slowing him down by hitting him with his board, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this will be interesting.
But that's actually not a good position to be in, having your second place guy drafting right behind you in the last lap. So he's trying to figure out what to do once they get him off his draft. But with the water is still pretty rough, and sometimes it's actually going upwind is a little bit easier to draft. But once they turn around, the drafting is a lot it's more difficult. And you can see
he's opened up.
he opened up a little bit, so he lost it.
The draft.
Arthur lost the draft a little bit.
See all these little waves. I
Yeah.
think when they turn around on the outside here and start coming back to the beach,
Yeah.
if they can catch some of those little waves, that'll make a huge difference.
All right.
And
So
this is
the
the first buoy. It's not
first
even the
buoy. Yeah.
turnaround buoy
So
yet.
they still got to paddle at 850 kilometers to the second buoy.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
Sorry
a long
to say it,
distance.
but that sucks. I'm just gonna say what everybody's thinking. Yeah, 52 years old, you can have that. Not for uncle.
Okay.
Exactly.
So.
There you go, brother. Wow.
But yeah, and he's
Kinda
looking.
interesting.
This is a pretty good lead. So like, and that far away, he's not getting any draft anymore. Like
nothing.
that's, if anything, he's
All
getting
on
like,
his own.
like turbulence
Catching
from
wash.
them. Yeah. So
opposite
it's
of
not
drafting.
as good. Yeah.
Well, it's so crazy from that drone shot how big the lead is compared to looking at
This
from the
like
land.
this. It looks like he's drafting him still. Yeah.
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 Not even close.
Interesting.
Like literally.
Yeah.
So this will be exciting to see what happens when they come around the buoy. If Rye's going to make a dash for it and get and open up that big lead and try and catch that wave sooner on the inside, or if he's going to save it for the last round, because literally going to the chicane, these guys may overtake each other once or twice more within the next
could
two
happen.
laps
Could happen.
on the
It'll be
beach,
an exciting finish for sure.
because they're not that far apart now where it's that big of a difference yet.
And the third place from this angle, it looks like he's
Getting
actually kind of close, but who knows? We'll have to see when they turn around the buoy. We'll get a better view of how far ahead
context of what's
the
going
first
on.
and second place are. Yeah, it'll be
I
interesting.
give this guy credit right here.
Still
I
going.
think I might have just paddled to the beach and just stopped. I'm done.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
DNF,
When the first
DNF.
place guys come in and you still got one more lap to go. That's
Oh,
happened to me at the Battle of the Paddle.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very frustrating.
Well, and the
You wanted
thing
to
too
stop.
is not only is it physically tiring, but it's mentally exhausting, right? Because you just like, ugh, like why am I even doing this? Like I still have this much more to go, and I think, not I think, I know. Well, it's my opinion that the race that guy is racing right now, the last place guy, is the hardest race being raced right now.
Yeah.
Because, he's mentally, physically, and emotionally just broken right now. You see, like, you literally turn around or you hear the paddles hitting the competitor's board behind you, and you're the last guy. So that means you're going to get lapped.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially like a race like the Molokai race where I think the guys that expend the most energy are the ones in the back, because the longer it takes, the more strokes you have to take, and the more energy you have to expend basically to get there. I mean, I guess the fastest guy expend the most energy in the shortest amount of time, but then if you're just paddling much longer, then it's definitely a grind,
Oh, looks like
But
Arthur came back.
They're still pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, he passed them.
Oh, yeah, Arthur's in front now. Nice. Interesting. But no, they're neck and neck right now, I think, yeah. It looks like they're really close. And then now they're coming into the...
They're all trying to catch. See,
into
that boat
Williams.
is creating a wake for them to catch.
Oh,
Or the jet ski is. Without them even realizing it.
it looks like there's little bumps. They're going pretty fast, moving pretty good. Back on that last downwind leg.
Oh, there's Arthur right
Just
there.
they got to
in the
do
lead now.
2 more chicanes for the finish. Getting close.
My goodness.
I'm sure they're breathing hard and
It's just fire.
It's
There's just fire coming out of their lungs. There's no more
hanging out the
oxygen.
nose.
It's just burning CO2.
Yeah. Yeah. They're running on fumes, I'm sure, but they're.
Well, and this is the second day of racing.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is the second day of
first
racing. They had
sprinting
sprints.
too. Like that's.
And sprints is just, of course, they're shorter, but
Yeah.
it's so physically taxing on your body.
Yeah. And it is a real upper body workout, like your lats and your arms,
over
forearms,
here.
everything. But also, it's really a full body workout, like your core muscles, your legs, your feet, everything. Oh, here they are,
here we
neck and
go.
neck. It's going to
Coming
be an
back.
exciting finish here. They're very close. They still got like 3 more runs or 2 more runs on the beach for the finish. Yeah. So.
And neither competitor willing to give up anything.
No. Neither one of them wants to give
up.
up. And then the
Because
third
Arthur
place
was
is pretty
way
far
back
behind
there.
Yeah.
The first 2 laps going into the third lap. He was way back there.
Yeah.
And it's just like the energy it took to get to where he is now is crazy. And the fact
It's
if he
taxing,
can
I'm
hold
sure.
on,
Yeah.
or even for Rai to be so far out in front and have to hold on. I see that tactic there. What happened is Rai was trying to cut Arthur off, and so Arthur just let him go by and then took a sharper angle toward the barricades on the beach to where they're going to have to run through the chicane.
Oh, but it looks
And
like
now
Ray
Rai's
got a
coming
little,
back.
he got a
Yep,
little
there you
lead
go.
there. So,
There's a little bump coming.
yeah.
Wow, so crazy.
Yeah, but both of them are pretty far ahead of everyone
everybody
else. So they got a nice lead.
Oh, here's a bump. I wonder if he catches this thing.
Hard for.
It's amazing to me how, depending on what camera angle we're looking at, how much different.
Yeah, check it out. There's a hotel in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely built up city, and like high rises everywhere.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of cool background for sure. Here's the wave.
So
no,
Arthur,
Arthur got a little bump. He's caught up again.
Here goes Rye.
Unreal.
Oh, they both got it now.
Yeah.
Right
both
to the
riding
beach.
it in.
Here we go.
Let's
Arthur's
see
going to be
the
in the lead.
Transition there.
Running around this first chicane, but I think Rye's just going to jog behind him nice and easily and just follow behind.
Yeah,
no rush because he's as close as he needs to be.
Oh, he's cramping or something. He's
limping.
They're both. Wait, is that the finish? No.
No.
Oh, they're both.
No, the last run through the chicane, Rye was running like that already. His legs got no more walking left.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, cramping is another thing that you have to sometimes deal with during these kind of races, like forearms, legs, even your abs can start cramping. All kinds of.
That was always
lats.
something for me I always dealt with as a competitor, whether it was when I was boogie boarding or surfing or sup surfing. I always had an issue with cramping. My calves.
When you're bodyboarding, the calves are really. I've had that too before.
Especially during like the pipe contest, and a lot of it is the physical strain, but I think a lot of it is the physical created by the emotional. So, like for surfing, right, your standard heat is 20 minutes, right? And so I could surf 20 minutes, say 3 or 4 times in one day, depending. Like usually finals day, you'll surf like 3 times,
That's
right?
how you trained for it
right?
too? Yeah.
No, but what happened is at the end of just those 3 heats, with a total of 60 minutes, 1 hour, I was so exhausted. And I could surf 4 to 6 hours, no problem, straight, and just be out there having the time of my life. But just the mental strain that it put on you being in competition made that 1 hour of actual water time way more tiring to me.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, here you can see Rye is drafting Arthur, and you can see him like take a little breathers in between and getting a nice draft there. So. Definitely good.
I think that's going to be his strategy. And then every time they hit the outside buoys, he's going to try and break away.
I've always cramped during the Molokai race, and a lot of it for me was nutrition too. Just like I had to take a ton of salt and salt pills and electrolytes.
There's a trick I learned from when we paddle canoe through the channel. And this is the only sport I competed in that the competitors did it normally. Was they use mustard.
Oh, yeah.
So when we would do long distance training, like you would walk into 7-Eleven, you see everybody walking out with like a pack of gum and then a bag full of all the mustard. Right? And for me, I was like, that's too much because I got to scrape all these little packs, right? Like if as if you're doing like the goo and all that stuff. But no, I just get the big one. No, I just get the big like French American brand, just pound that.
Yeah.
And people and
it's the vinegar, I think. Yeah.
And so what they also say is because the way mustard is already processed, it's basically broken down to the point where it's practically pre-digested. So when it comes into your body soaks it up right away. And it's funny to me, right? You have all these multi-billion-dollar NFL, NBA, and they're all like still trying to do Gatorade and stretch it out and all of that stuff that we know from doing it over time doesn't work. I promise you, try mustard. Oh. It works. I just cramped up the other night when I was lying in bed. That happens a lot after a long day as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be like lying down on a turn wrong one way. I'm like, oh, here comes a cramp. And I literally ran into, let's say we got Connor Baxter there.
Connor, yeah.
Yep. And I ran to the kitchen and just took a big swig of mustard. And it was gone.
That's
just
great,
like that.
Something else that works like that is pickle juice.
Pickle juice,
yeah.
So the DeSoto's, Makamai, and Pua, Pua Makamai and Makamai de Soto and the whole family. Like, that's what they were doing the whole weekend for Uncle
Here's
Buffs.
Arthur. He caught a wave, and he's got a nice
perfect.
lead now, and it looks like Rye is at least one wave behind him. So coming up to the beach here. I think he's got to run one more time, and then they're almost there. Okay. Yeah, it's good. We're almost there, so it's going to be an exciting finish. Right now, Arthur looks like he's got a nice little lead. But Rye's still giving him chase. Still got...
Oh, he got his board sideways. Oh, yeah.
Close.
So they're going back out.
Yeah,
because that's the course. It'll back out and come around.
Yeah, zigzagging kind of.
So this is the last of the chicanes on the 4th lap.
Yeah.
So they still have to go to the chicane on the 5th and final lap as well, right?
Oh, so where's the finish?
Look here.
The finish is
here.
it's through the chicane and then the finish. Yeah.
Ooh, that sucks. Would have been so much better just to ride the wave to victory. Now you got to run back out.
Yeah. So
here we are,
exciting.
Arthur, with a big lead here on the second of the, I believe the second of the 3 chicanes on the fourth, second to the last lap. So we got Rye right behind him. Rye trying to catch up to get into that draft again. And man, credit to these guys, and especially to Rye, who had such a big lead midway through the race, and then to have Arthur pass him at the end on the last two chicanes, and for him to just be that close still yet.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much almost the whole race, they've been neck and neck and kind of back and forth the lead, and it looks like definitely giving him chase, so it's not like he's
we got some good wakes, some good size bumps for them to catch on the way back in. So again, what was happening in the first few laps was Rye was the one catching those bumps further out than everybody else. Then the tide has kind of shifted, kind of turned here, where Arthur is the one getting the luck and getting into those bumps further out and riding it literally all the way to the beach.
Yeah. So I think this is now the final leg, right? Yeah, they're coming in for the
last chicane of the 4th lap.
Yeah. Oh, 4th lap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe.
I thought they're already on the.
Is this the 5th one?
I think it's the 5th lap.
Yeah, this is what Tristan was saying.
Tristan,
it's super
are they
confusing.
on the last? They're on the last lap. I think so. I think this is they're just heading into the finish now. So they're definitely sprinting now, trying
everything they got, whatever's left, emptying the gas tank. It's pretty empty already. Literally, the term running on fumes.
Yeah, but
worked
you can
perfectly
definitely
there.
See how he's kind of splashing on the entry. It's not really
sloppy.
It's smooth catch. He's just he's trying to force it.
He's got left.
He's trying to force it. Oh, and then he kind of almost.
Oh, he knows.
Oh no, his technique's falling apart. He's just like. He's getting super tired, but he's
just wanting a bump to come so badly. Yeah, look, he's looking. He's looking.
Maybe he's catching something here. No,
he's on the backside of it. Here we go. See if he gets this one.
He's pushing hard, pushing.
God, and you know as well as I do.
Oh,
there's
really
nothing
sprinting.
more tiring than paddling as hard as you can with everything you got left and missing. The wave.
And having poor technique.
Right. Here we go.
It's like,
he's right behind him, but he's on the bump behind.
Close. Oh, he just missed that bump,
Oh, yep. There it is. Wow.
That's the finish.
I'm not going to say nothing until somebody crosses the line because I'm not going to jinx anybody.
Yeah.
But here we go. Looks like there we go.
Race.
Wow. Our champion this year. Big hand. Congratulations.
All right.
Mr. Arthur Rutkin.
Yeah. Congratulations,
was
Arthur.
Currently 5th in the ratings. And here comes Rye.
France.
Here comes Rye Taguchi. So we have our French competitor in first place.
Good to see them in sports.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
Both got a smile on their face, so that's good. He definitely tried hard there at the end. He's exhausted.
Well, and plus, what is underplayed that nobody's even really, where we haven't talked about much, is all the stress that they went through prior to jumping in the water. Okay, get ready. Okay, wait, not going now. Oh, it's raining. We can't go out yet. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, go. Oh, no, wait. You know what I mean? And so you're just like, as a competitor on the beach ready to go out, you're like super frustrated, and it's really no one's fault.
Can you see who that is, the third place?
I believe that was, who was it? Was that Daniel?
Daniel Hasulio, maybe, from Hungary, living in Thailand.
Wow.
It's
kind of an interesting
yeah.
place to be from and then to be living and training to do this sport. It's not definitely the hotbeds.
Yeah, and then Daniel and his brother are both like top paddlers. I think they trained a lot together.
Nice.
So they're definitely a power.
He's like
paddlers.
over going all the way over there.
we
Leave
got
it. You don't need it anymore. Just leave
under
it.
the
Run.
board. Yeah.
Just go. Yeah,
But-
he's like,
He's
taking off the
does
leash.
yeah, but he's like,
Maybe.
forget that thing.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to get over, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
I was just like, leave the board. Leave the board.
Yeah. And third place. Definitely
Nice.
not a bad
Congratulations,
finish,
man. What a workout that was.
And this is fourth place finisher. Is that Fernando?
I believe it might be. Well, not bad. Top 4 and then winning the leave the board. You don't need to waste your energy. That's in the contract. You got to see the board cross the line.
Got to show the paddle and the board.
paddle and the board. There you go. Got to show the sponsors. They make it all possible, not just the individual sponsors for our individual athletes, but sponsors of the event, Busan and, the rest of the sponsorships that we had to put this event on. As you know, this stuff isn't cheap. And for our competitors to be traveling, all over the world, a lot of in Europe and Asia now, especially if you're living in America, it's super expensive. If you're living in Hawaii, it's even more expensive.
And what's almost impossible is to travel with a 14-foot board. So it's like a logistical nightmare to figure out how to get your board to where you need it to be for each race. And if you're traveling around the world, you can't just check that in.
You have to send it through cargo,
yeah,
right?
you can't just check that in on the airplane.
Oh, yeah,
usually.
here.
So, yeah. And that's one thing that's kind of nice about foiling is that the boards are usually a lot shorter and easier to travel with for sure. So
nice.
you got
Fifth place finisher there.
Fifth place now, yeah.
Yeah, because it was hard enough traveling with our surf sups, which at the time when we started the APP tour, the surf sup tour, probably the biggest board was like 996. Right. It was early in the early days. Now these kids are using boards that they can literally hold on their arm like a surfboard.
Right.
It's ridiculous. The Zane Schweitzers, Kai Lenny's, Noah Janela, all these young boys. I'm just like, I was like, wait, I want to use that board at second reef pipe, but I want to use it to lie down and paddle in like regular surfer pipe, not sup pipe.
Yeah.
Like, I told Bullet over that too. I'm like, how many liters? Oh, perfect. That's my gun size. Perfect. But it's a nice 7.4, a little bit wider. Yeah, let me use that next time.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
No, I mean,
I go, no, I'm not standing on it. I'm going to lie down and paddle on it. He goes, oh, okay, that makes sense. I go, yeah, no, kidding me? I couldn't even fit my feet side by side in either way, front or backward or sideways. I mean, that's funny.
I mean, kind of the standard now is to use a board that has less volume than you need to float, basically.
Right.
So when you stand up on it, it sinks.
Underwater.
So you need to generate some speed before it even comes to the surface.
Just to get it up and going. Yeah. But I noticed that same way where these guys are sacrificing the stability with the surf sup boards and what the younger guys are riding, they're sacrificing the same thing. But once you get on the wave, it's a night and day difference.
It looks like a short board versus a much bigger board.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like just put the paddle away. You don't even need it anymore. And foiling's the same way, right? When you go from a bigger wing to a smaller wing, once you're on the wave, it's just like, this is why I put the smaller wing. That smaller wing is so much more fun on waves when you're wave surfing, but one heck of a hard work to pump back out.
Oh, he's really going down the line on that wave. And
that's
got to be Connor,
turn.
right? Yeah,
that's Connor.
Yeah. Nice.
Leave the board. Oh, no, sorry. Contract. Got to run him up. See, look.
Yeah, but he's got to be disappointed about his finish on this race.
Oh, for sure. Well, he's been one of the top competitors for your.
Okay.
All right, so we got the call from the top people. They are going directly into the women's start. We were going to have a break earlier, but because of the weather delays, we are going straight into the women's race. Again, we have 5 competitors here. This is a final heat, just the 5 top professionals we have here, no amateurs were allowed by the Korean government to compete in this event due to the weather. Again, so this is our final event of the contest, and it is a 5-woman final, and they are doing the same course as well. It's a 200-meter, 5-lap race, which comes out to 10 kilometers total.
2 kilometers is 2,000 meters. Yeah,
2,000 meters.
Yeah,
per.
So per lap. So and they're doing exactly the same course, I think. Yeah.
So this is gonna be a little different, I believe, because the field is so much smaller. So I believe there's the front pack may consist halfway through the race of maybe 2 or 3 racers. As we can see, one of our racers
look at
got
this
caught.
way they clean them out.
Literally everybody but the first place girl.
Nice.
And the second place, who was in last place, jumping into the water, but 3 of their other competitors went down.
So this might I wonder if this is Juliet. She won the sprint race on day 1. So if she's already this far ahead on the very beginning, then
that might not be good for everyone else.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to catch up. But that was a pretty big wave, right?
Right. The guys didn't experience anything like that, but
so,
all the women at one time.
Yeah.
Looks like our competitors.
That was a tough start.
Issue. What is that? Her leash?
Oh yeah, maybe the leash got wrapped around the fin or the tail.
Yeah, it was the tail. Either the tail or the fin. Yeah, like you said.
But yeah, and then I guess they're running out of daylight too.
Yeah,
so the start was late, and it's I'm not sure what time it is in Korea right now. Let me check. World clock.
Yep. So, like you said, that may have been
4:30 p.m.
Wow, 4:30 and getting dark already.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. So in this heat, we have Juliet Duham, or Duham. I may be pronouncing that last name. In fact, I'm 100% positive I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. We also
Argentina.
got Chloe Walkerdine from Australia. Juliet is from Argentina. We got Ji-Wan Choi, who is a South Korean. So this is her home race. So it'd be interesting to see how she does, as well as our next competitor, Soo Jeong Lim, also from South Korea. She was the winner of the 2023 KAPP Asian Championships. So it's the Korean Association of Paddling Professionals. So she won their Asian Championships, and she's one of Korea's leading SUP ladies. And then we have from Canada, Caroline Cook. She's one of Canada's top athletes, and she's new to the APP, so she's a rookie this year. So we have
the top 5.
Yeah, so we have 2 local girls, an Australian, an Argentinian, and a Canadian who is a rookie. So it'd be interesting to see. But it took us a bit to.
Oh, look at all those boats all of a sudden. Where did they come from?
What the heck is going on now?
I guess maybe because the weather cleared up now, all the boats came out of the harbor and they want to watch the race. Maybe, who knows? Because earlier there wasn't any boats on the water.
Nothing.
Yeah, interesting.
Now we can't get them out of the damn way. They're like literally like look at it like I'm just waiting for somebody to hit each other.
They're churning up the water. Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But it seems like they're kind of fair weather boaters there.
For real. All right, so we're going to get a live report on the start of the women's heat here with Tristan Boxford out in the water. Tristan, take it.
Thanks, guys. What an exciting race that was. We only saw the finish from the back, but what a battle between Rai Taguchi and Artur Rutkin. With Artur just taking the edge there at the end, he managed to get ahead of Rai. Rai was chasing hard from the back there, and but couldn't overtake the powerful Frenchman today. In third place, what a weekend it's been for the Spanish kid from Cadiz. He got third place today in the distance, which that does, I believe, put him in the win overall. Provisionally, we'll confirm that in a second, but what a weekend it's been for him. A great third place finish. And Itzel Delgado from Peru making it back up to fourth place. It's great to see him take a surge later in the race. Looked as though Daniel's endurance paid off there. He managed to get past Connor. in behind Itzel, and then Connor obviously behind him. So it was a great race so far. We just saw the women start. We got more racing to come. Back up to you guys.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tristan. So, yeah, just giving us a little recap of the men's heat there. We're going to see what's going on with the women's heat. They have just started, and I'm not sure if that is our – looks like – I know that was our competitor leaving the beach in first place, so that might have actually been the competitor from the last competitor from the men's division. Oh, it might still from the men's because the girls are all orange, right? Because, so the yellow jersey was still the men's competitor, so that finishing the last lap. The women might lap the last finisher from the men's
That would be embarrassing.
Wow.
But, yeah.
There's a lot of things I feel like saying right now, but I won't because I give them credit because I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. No,
there's a reason I'm sitting here and not standing there.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to say nothing about it because some of these women and the women, man, you can't underestimate the women anymore with the training 100%. Available and with the competitions that they have, going year round all over the place. Like, it's just, there's a lot of these women that, let's be honest, are better than some of the men. It's as simple as
totally,
that.
100%.
It's crazy. Like, I see them, and I'm like, yeah, nope, don't want to compete against that.
No, yeah, for sure.
So this is the beginning of the first lap of the women's race, which is a total of 5 laps, just like the men's. They will have 5 total laps, which is equal to about 10 kilometers, which you said was how many miles?
About 6.2 miles total. Miles. The total distance. So, and then I guess in third place in the men's was Fernando Serra from Spain, Cadiz, and he won the sprint race on the first day. So with the first and third sprint finish and the third place in the distance overall race winner. Is probably the overall winner. So
it's pretty awesome.
Got to be happy with that result. Yeah.
We'll wait for the official announcement of that. But screw that.
But
we'll give it to him. His first and third place. There's not much more you can say.
It was hard for us to see who's who when they were finishing. I guess I got to be honest. I haven't really been following this whole Santa Paula racing scene since the beginning of the pandemic. So I've been more into wing foiling. So I used to kind of know everybody just by their paddle style, but unfortunately I don't.
Yeah, it's
anymore,
been a while.
So yeah, it's hard for me to recognize them.
Yeah, see, these are the men.
Yeah, still coming in the yellow jerseys on their last lap there. Yeah.
That sucks. Like you said, that's being last at Molokai. You know how long it takes to finish?
Yeah, I mean, there's some names that I don't really know. Like, there's paddlers from China, from Thailand, from Peru.
And what's awesome about it is, like, for yourself as well as myself, I've been away from the entire scene, whether it's sup surfing, sup racing, for a while. And what I'm noticing now is how much more competitors we have from different parts of the world where never existed before.
Yeah, right? It used to be mostly like Hawaii, US,
California, Australia. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now we got a Canadian. We got 2 women from South Korea, Argentinian, and, an Australian, which, like, if you look for the women's, if this is the way it's going, like, there's nobody from the U.S. in any of in the women's event at all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, where before the bulk of the women in the beginning were from either Hawaii or the U.S. California, and then a lot of the
Candace Appleby.
And then a lot of the women from, like, Australia started coming in, and then there was kind of a big wave of women that came in for Europe at one point. And
okay, so she's the one that took off the beach and But again, no, you're right. It totally and like I said, like, I think, well, in Hawaii, definitely stand-up paddle racing has kind of been declining, but internationally it seems to be kind of
Yes,
growing,
absolutely.
so which is great to see, I think, like, and I love seeing that, and so I'm hoping that
it makes me happy too, because it's not sure disheartening is the word I want to use, but I think more disappointing to see like how much it dropped off, because it came on quick and it was around for a while.
Yeah.
Right, for a decade or so at least, and really, really strong. And then, like we were saying earlier when we were talking like about the Molokai to Oahu paddle race, all of a sudden, poof, there was like no subdivision. Everybody like stopped supping and stuff like that.
Oh, we got some results here.
So this is currently what's going on in the water. In first place, we do. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Oh, the numbers of the shirts. Okay.
Oh, the shirt numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Juliet is number 4. Jiwon Choi from South Korea is number 3. And we got Chloe, number 2.
Oh, she lapped him.
And Lim.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, wait.
Perfect place to catch that. Stay on the shoulder.
Okay, she's number 6, and Caroline's number 1. Okay, so we got the shirt jersey numbers now.
So 4 is
so number 4 is Juliet Duhaime from Argentina.
Yep.
She's been she
literally took over. She lapped the guy from the
poor
guys
guy.
division.
Feels sorry. But
and he still got to go through the chicane.
Oh yeah.
So he got more
he's
women
like
to pass
his
him.
Board.
He's got nothing. Like he couldn't even get off his board. Like his legs are so gone. He tried to get off of the board and just like the legs gave out.
You can see her jumping back on the board to go over the whitewater, back forward. It's got good technique. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to race against her.
No. I mean, look at her legs, like compared to like she's literally
and she's got that the stance too, like she's like kind of that low gravity stance.
Yes,
where she's definitely can control the board, and
she's what we call in Hawaii tick or tunda, right? They're short, but they got these massive legs, right? Which in pretty much any sport is an advantage, because a lot of the power comes from the legs, because it gives you a stable base to work from, right? It's that foundation. And as you can see when she paddles, if you could explain what a power paddler looks like.
It's kind of like when you look at Danny Ching or someone like that versus like Connor Baxter, who's all tall and lanky, but it's still amazing that Connor Baxter can be very competitive, even, with that body type. So I don't know if it's necessarily, an advantage. I guess in some conditions for sure,
Yeah, it still comes down more so to the competitor. Here's a perfect example about what you were talking about coming in the right place,
falling
and
in,
how much of world-class competitor it takes to stay on these boards in the waves. They're all falling down.
That takes a long time.
Because the women are having a really hard time through the surf, where the men, maybe one of the 12 guys fell once that we saw, if even that, right? But, for all these women trying to control this board, and these aren't pushovers. These are professionals.
Yeah, no,
these are world-class athletes.
Yeah,
so it goes to what we were trying to explain earlier, how hard it is getting in and out of that surf on these particular boards, especially.
Look at this shot. You got a rainbow in the background. Looks like the sunlight is getting kind of low. Like we got the afternoon sunlight with the
what they call
rainbow.
golden hour, the 5 o'clock.
And a little bit of blue
shadow.
Sky even.
I know.
Nice,
look at
nice. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The little laser rainbow coming through.
Yeah.
I like that. But Juliet, she could just cruise right now.
She's a hammer.
Yeah, look at her. Yeah. She is actually cruising. She looked back. She's like, all right, I'll just take my time through here. Because she still needs to conserve that.
Efficient stroke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see how, how you're talking about how even though she's smaller, like shorter in stature, not all long and lanky, you can see how she actually stands up in between and gets her hips forward to give her body and her back
her lower
that
back
bit rest.
She doesn't just stay hunched over the whole time. And you can see she has not a super long stroke. Like that's something too that a lot of beginners in stand-up paddle will try to pull their paddle too far back, and you can see she's really focusing on the front of her, like the front of the stroke, getting a nice catch and pulling, and then as soon as she like puts in that power, she pulls it out already. Like it's like quick, shorter strokes, but really in forward strokes, basically. Yeah.
Again, glad you brought that up where we're talking about technique. That's always when I do SUP lessons is what I teach is put that paddle as far forward as you can without bending your elbow, right? Your top elbow to reach it out there. I want your arms straight as far forward as you can. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to bend their knees and lean forward, and you gain about 6 inches. And how you were saying, the catch, right, when she puts it in, as she's putting it in, she's bringing it, already pulling it out. And so I tell my students, when you go through the paddle, pull it out right by your feet or right before your feet so that the stroke is always forward. And so every time you paddle, the board's lifting and not sinking. You know, as well as I do, if you go too far back and you go past your waist, now your body is leaning back, right? And now you're going 2 steps forward, 1 step back because you put in all that paddle and all that energy to get forward.
Catching
like
a nice
she's doing.
wave. Wow,
that's a perfect wave.
She's going to really build her lead on this one. Yeah.
So you see how she's paddling there
way
to get
in
in front of the
board,
to get in front of the wave so that she's not actually surfing it, because on these boards you don't want to surf. And look at her.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
and she walked all the way back to the tail.
As far back as she could. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, nowhere.
And again, these are the top competitors in the world.
She's looking back. She's like, where are they?
Just take your time, sweetheart. Pretty sure this one's in the bag. You know, it's up to her by how much. You know,
well, it's definitely hers to lose right now. But I wouldn't be too self-confident yet.
No, obviously it's the first lap, but I think you can see the difference in the quality and the ability and the talent between her and literally everybody else in the field.
Right.
Where the top 2 to 3 men were all similar and close. Well, obviously the first 2 in the Rai and Artur, they were like
close
neck and neck. But I mean, look at her and the rest of her competitors.
Yeah.
Even Rai, when he had the huge lead in the beginning, didn't have this kind of lead, and Artur was always just in front of him, in front of Rai the whole time. So the competitive ability and the athletic ability of the competitors in the men, at least in this competition, was a lot closer than what's going on here.
Well, but you can see like between second, third, fourth, fifth, it looks a lot closer. So she's definitely a standout right there. Julia is like killing it.
She's like
amazing.
So did she win the sprint?
Yeah,
she did.
She won the sprint.
Okay. Could be a clean sweep for
I wanted to point out too, like what you talked about earlier is like not bending your arms too much. You can see them all, like their arms they're not moving their arms that much. It's like they got a slight bend. They're kind of pushing a little bit with their top hand, but the bottom hand is just kind of like pulling more from the core and like it's more like a twisting. Your lat, it comes from the lats and your core and even your legs and like we said, gravity. So that's something, like you said, like when you teach stand-up paddling to newbies, they always want to just do everything with their arms, and it's just like it's hard to get people to engage other muscles in the paddling, not just their arms.
So that's why I always show them that the top arm is the one that's actually pushing the paddle back. The bottom arm should just be guiding the blade back. It shouldn't be pulling. And what they're doing is they're trying to do this the whole time with their bottom arm, when their bottom arm is there to keep the paddle in the catch, right?
Yeah.
Right in that little area. And like I said, you want to, if you look at her, right, how I was talking about, when she finishes her stroke, the top of her hand is, by her belly. Right, and even when she brings it out of the water, it's by her head. But as it enters the water, it's by her chest. So you'll watch when they show Juliet, especially. So I noticed this with more power paddlers.
Look how dark it's getting. You can really see the lights in the background now. Like, it's good. They're going to be finishing in the dark. Yeah.
I don't know if they want them to do. They may want to cut it to 3 laps, because by that 5th lap, even the 4th lap, it might be dark.
Yeah. Well, probably Juliet's going to finish right at dark, and then the other girls are, where are they?
Yeah, that's going to be.
But no, you can definitely see the difference when she's going in and out through the surf, and the other girls are all struggling. But they're like, it seems like the other competitors are definitely more closely matched. They're all kind of close together in a pack, while
Literally
she's
in a
just
league of her own.
pulling away from everyone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
very impressive.
I'm interested to see, again, from the different camera angles, right? We always see something different. So from that one from outside, it definitely looks like it's getting really dark already. So I'm interested to see if it does get that bad, if they're going to shorten the race, which I would not be opposed to, because if there's women, well, no, more so, well, no, that doesn't bother me. It's just the safety for these competitors. When you're paddling in the dark, like there's no lights on the buoys, they can't see what's going on. You know what I mean?
For sure. But
and then, like there's a flashing from the beach.
Oh yeah, you can see.
I wonder if they just made it one lap because she took her leash off already.
Oh,
she took her leash off.
Oh, maybe for running on the beach.
I don't know. She didn't. Yeah, she did. Well, I guess they just did one lap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just one lap. Okay.
Well, that was smart. Well, right on. Well, congratulations to our overall champion and distance or course champion, Juliette Duhaime. No wonder she just put it all in. She just put the hammer down and just said, well, we got one lap. And kudos to Tristan and the APP for making that call, because as we can see, it's already dark. I mean, all the cars lights are on. And from this angle, it doesn't actually show the justice of how dark it actually is right now. Like her coming in, they had light flashing so she could see where to come in.
The background, when with all the lights on in the background, you can see that definitely.
Clean sweep for Juliette this weekend.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
All right.
She seems
Good
to
job.
be definitely a force to contend with for the other women in this year's
be interested
competition.
I'm going to have to watch more often.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks everyone for tuning in to the live feed here.
Again, myself, Kainoa McGee, Robert Stellick here. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert Stellick.
Sure. Okay. And,
Yeah, my first time doing this for the APP tour. So
nice. See, and now look from this.
Oh, it looks like dark.
darker. That other camera, I guess it looks like the what is it called? The white balance.
Yeah.
See the flashing light? They're flashing that light so they know where to go for the finish line.
And when you have all that artificial light in your eyes, it kind of makes your night vision go away too, so it's harder to see. Yeah. Okay. Back to the studio.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. So
all
get the
Juliette and first place men's.
So then Artur
Arutkin.
And then overall men's was Fernando, right?
Yeah. Fernando was third and overall. Yeah, from this angle it doesn't look as dark, but when you're paddling right into the lights, then it's definitely getting dark.
Second, third, and fourth finish, and then gonna come to studio.
Okay.
And recap.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so we're gonna have the second, third, and fourth finisher coming in pretty far behind.
Right.
Julia, pretty amazing how much
she
built it in one lap.
She was literally a whole chicane.
Yeah.
In and out ahead of everybody. Wow. That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was
impressive.
If you're going to do it, hey, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And
what's our competitor was that? Number 6?
Oh, number 6 is that was Su Jung Lim from South Korea. So the second place looks like
one of
the
our
South
Korean competitors. Nice.
Number 2 is Chloe Walker-Dean from Australia. Looks like they would finish second and third. So I'm sure the South Koreans are proud of their
girls did well,
finishing in second place. So it looks like amazing.
Yeah, because as we saw from the beginning, it was a race for second. First place was sewn up.
Yeah. Nightlife in Seoul.
Time to party.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're ready.
Ready to rock, brother. Come to it. Here we got a beautiful. All right. Aloha, everybody. Kainoa McGee, Robert Stellick here from. All right. So you've been listening to us this whole time. Now you get to see us. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but here we are. So again, awesome race today, Robert. Let's give them a breakdown of what happened with the men first.
All right, so in the men's, we had Arthur Arukin finishing first. And then in second was Rai Taguchi from Okinawa, Japan. And third place was Fernando Serra from Spain.
Yep.
And he also won the sprint on the first day. So looks like he's got the most points and winning the overall title. So congratulations.
Yeah, awesome. So our overall champ there. Want to say congratulations to all the competitors. As you could see today, there was rough conditions out there for all our male and female competitors. Thankfully for the females, they only did the one lap because it's dark. It's already dark in Korea. And we want to say a big congratulations to Juliet Duhaime from Argentina, who not only won today's distance race, but she won yesterday's sprint. So she is obviously clean sweeping this whole Busan Open. This is the Juliet Duhaime Open, as far as I'm concerned, here in 2023
she killed it.
in Korea. Our ladies champion, Juliet, won both the sprint and today's distance race. And so she is obviously far and away the champion of this event, and had a really strong showing there in that final to prove that she's a tough all-around competitor, not just the sprint, because she basically sprinted that whole one lap, which is 2,000 meters.
Yeah, that was amazing. And it's a good thing they only did one lap because it was definitely starting to get dark quickly. And then it looks like from what we saw, it was in second place was Soo Jung Lim from South Korea. So that, like you said earlier, like in the early days of stand-up paddle racing, we've only seen paddlers from the U.S., from Hawaii, from Australia maybe, but now to see,
everyone but U.S.
all from all over the world. We don't see anybody from the United States or from Hawaii in this race on the women's side. So, yeah, congratulations. And then just to see such an international field, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's good, like we said a lot during the broadcast that, here in Hawaii and the U.S., SUP is a lot smaller than it used to be. It's awesome to see it growing around the world with, now we have two competitors from South Korea on their home turf in South Korea competing, as well as a Canadian, an Australian, and an Argentinian. So in the beginning of SUP days, we'd never be able to call a heat like this and have women from so many diverse areas, and to actually be new to the sport. So our Canadian in the women's event, Caroline Cook, is actually a rookie. And this is her first year on the APP Tour.
Right.
So I'm hoping that she will make enough of an impact that she'll inspire more of the women and even some men from Canada to become a part of the sport.
For sure. Yeah, and I think we have to also give credit to Tristan, who's been for years pushing the sport and making it a legitimate professional sport where people can compete and get sponsorship and so on. So, without the APP Tour, these paddlers wouldn't be where they're at today. So, yeah, I think it's a cool thing, and thanks for inviting me to be on the show.
Yeah, happy to be here. First time working together. Hopefully not our last. We'll see what happens. A lot of things happen behind the scenes to make this happen or force this to happen compared to, anything prior to the weather. A typhoon coming in obviously is a huge thing. And, something that literally the government officials were making the call of if they could run or not. And then when they did, that only the professionals could actually go out and compete. So it's good to see that the South Korean government is so involved here, and that safety is the most important thing. Myself as a city and county lifeguard, it's always the first thought process in my head when I show up to anything, and especially a competitive event like this with basically typhoon weather coming through, how dangerous that could be. And it's good to see that they're that vigilant, but yet that supportive of this sport.
Yeah, and I guess it's the Coast Guard that had to make that call to if it's safe enough. But if you look at the conditions we can get here in Hawaii, that it's kind of like, what are they talking about? but no, but I mean,
It's just
I
another
think
day on the east side. What are you talking about?
before the feed started, actually, it was raining pretty hard, and it was really overcast, and the wind was a lot stronger. So yeah, it is. It's a concern. Like, I guess and you gotta make sure everyone's safe. That's important.
All right, so signing out for myself, Kaino and McGee.
Robert Stellick from Hawaii.
We out of here. Aloha,
Aloha.
gangi. Sleep well.
Okay, aloha.